Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Most people, when they have a business card, they have like one word, banker, lawyer, doctor. I don't even know how you put all this on a business card. Are you ready? Charles Horton is a business leader, entrepreneur, angel investor, transformational speaker, author, executive mentor, advisor, coach, and master firewalker instructor.
That's a mouthful, isn't it, Jeff?
It's a very long business card. And he is joined by Amber Rodgers, who helps him with all his business endeavors. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's start with your childhood because I was blown away. We first met each other almost a decade ago, I believe, and you're just one of those overachievers. You can't just be happy being ordinary, can you?
I cannot, and I'll say that it started out. I write this in my book. I've never really rationalized it in my head so much until I wrote the book. But I grew up in an abusive home. My stepfather was very abusive, and I'm independent because I did not want to be home. So I started businesses at a very young age. I was making more money than my parents when I was 16 years old.
Oh my goodness! What was that first business?
Well, the first business was really lawn care. I had over 150 employees at one point mowing lawns and laying grass. And then I went into a flea market when I was 15 years old or so. No one accepted checks. We lived in a mobile home. I didn't have any money, but there was a need. People had a need of being able to cash checks at the flea market. So I started a check cashing business at 14, 15 years old, cashing hundreds of thousands of dollars a weekend in checks.
Oh my goodness! All right, so I don't want to do the Reader's Digest version of your life, but it sounds like we need an hour and a half show. But so kind of fast forward, how did that bring you to the book and firewalking and today?
So I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I went from the check cashing business in the flea markets to essentially starting and growing to the 8th largest check verification guarantee company. That took me till I was almost 30 years old. I started a small loan company after selling that business. I've always been a leader and a trainer, so I want my employees to feel engaged, feel ownership. So I've done trainings for my employees. I then found Tony Robbins and went to Tony Robbins seminars, sent my employees to that. And then I went and found out how to become a firewalk instructor myself. I love firewalking, and now I'm one of the top worldwide firewalk instructors, doing it all over the world.
Oh my goodness. Amber, let's bring you in on this. I mean, you and I have both known Charles for a long time. I mean, it's just I'm almost exhausted listening.
We're trying to keep up with all that. But the common theme here is that Charles provides hope for people, and truly hope is the one thing that is priceless. People are searching for hope right now.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things I think, to tie it back into this, sad day in Dallas, is that it reminds people how precious life is and how short life is, and all of those, people thought they were going home to their wives or girlfriends that evening, and it was over.
Charles creates a culture where everybody is embraced, everybody's loved, everybody's engaged. And one thing that I've definitely learned about being around him is that hate divides, love multiplies. We have to spread that word.
Wow. Well, let's talk about carpe diem, seizing life. Ignite the secret. Tell me about the book and how people can draw from your experience.
So Ignite the Secret is 19 lessons that I've gotten out of life. I do a lot of exciting things like firewalking. There's a lot of firewalking stories that tie it back to business and life. I've walked with lions. I take employees to South Africa on trips. We walk with lions. So it's just 19 easy lessons on how to really ignite the secret. You talked about the secret book earlier. I'm a total believer. These are just 19 steps to make it real in your life.
Wow. Well, give us one of the 19 steps.
Let me pull the book out. Let me pick one of the 19 steps here. Let's see. Never give up is really a good one in business. One of my top lessons in life is that businesses don't fail, people give up. I've done a lot of acquisitions throughout my career, and the common element I've seen is businesses get to a place where they just feel like they can't go any further. They have a bump in the road and they don't figure out how to get over it, and they just give up. If you just look for a way to solve your problems, do something different until you find something that works. I think that's one of the big lessons out of the book.
Awesome. My guest right now, Charles Horton. He's at charleshorton.com, and Amber Rodgers, who helps him with his many endeavors. Let's talk some more about firewalking, because that's been in the news lately. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the news for the best reasons, but as a master firewalker instructor, you have a different view of firewalking and safety, don't you?
I do. We teach instructors around the world how to do the firewalk. In fact, Tony Robbins learned from the Firewalking Institute before I had it. We teach how to do these activities and others really safely. And firewalking, frankly, is very safe. The most dangerous thing that you do at a firewalk seminar is drive your car down to that firewalk seminar.
Really? Okay. So what? I know you weren't down there. You didn't touch the coals yourself. You didn't do the post-mortem on it. But what's your best guess as to what happened there?
So, Jeff, you are walking on coals that are anywhere from 800 to 1,200 degrees. There is a possibility that you're going to get we like to call it a tiny kiss, kind of like the kiss that you would get when you're wearing a new pair of shoes, or the kind that you would get on your hands when you're working in the yard the first time. It's pretty amazing that you can walk on coals that hot, and only a few percentage of the people get those little tiny kisses. So it's part of the activity. A number of people get it, but it's a mind-blowing experience if you can walk on coals that hot and only get a little kiss.
Wow. Okay, so Amber, let me bring it back again. Some of the people listening right now are saying, okay, I can be inspired in other ways. I don't.
Well, I want to say that the worst thing that ever happened to me crossing over fire was having to get a new pedicure. But what I did gain out of it was, I will say that the first time I watched fire was the proudest moment of my life, aside from having my children, because I knew that all I needed was within me now. And that's something that it's just overcoming those limiting beliefs that we run in our heads.
Amber's amazing to watch firewalk. She just has a passion for it. The different thing about her and firewalking is every time I watch her walk within the same evening, she's wearing a different outfit.
I'm the glam firewalker.
You know what? So anytime I talk to somebody who's fabulously successful like you, Charles, I want to know your dumbest mistake. What was the biggest business mistake you ever made?
Wow, the dumbest business mistake. I think it comes to managing people. So I had an excellent employee in my check verification guarantee business. She could handle the work of 20 people. She came in frustrated one time, and I started off the conversation doing it the way you were supposed to. I talked very quietly because she was very high, and I tried to get her energy down, and after a few minutes, I can't say the word on the radio, but I kind of yelled at her. She looked at me for about 10 seconds in silence and then turned around and walked off, and I never saw her again. And so it's a great lesson in management not to treat people that way. So that was one of my dumbest mistakes.
Wow. Do you find that as a, kind of a motivational leader, you really can't have much of a bad day, can you? Because if you're going to walk your talk and they're looking at you, your employees are looking at you, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, this is the guy who says, ignite the secret and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So, I mean, do you ever have a bad day?
I have bad days all the time, and the key of it is that you don't show that. One of my district managers says this all the time, that his employees will never see him have a bad day. When I'm in a bad mood, I keep the bad mood to myself. I have a very small circle of close friends that I can be myself with, but for the public face, I have to always be in a good mood. I have to always have hope, as Amber says, and I have to be the leader.
One of the things that I'm really impressed with about you is your willingness to share the secrets, because I think so many people hoard the gold, and I think part of the secret is to give it away, isn't it?
I agree. I had a speaker in one of my seminars talking about what your passion is in life, and she led us through an exercise to find our passions. And I am successful. I grow businesses. I've done many businesses. I'm starting another one with a goal of having it be worth $10 billion in 3 years. But what I learned that my passion is seeing people grow. When I see my employees blow up their goals, that's what makes me really happy. I started out doing seminars just for my employees, and now I bring it out to the public, but seeing them and hearing them live their dreams and finding their passion and exploding their goals, that's what my real passion is.
You know, I like that old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Do you find that sometimes, like, people will come to you, you have a wonderful estate in Flower Mound, will they come to your estate and they're just in a bad place, they're not ready to receive the information that you're about to give them?
I think people show up where they're not ready to receive the information, but I haven't heard of many people that spend the 4 days with me for my long seminar that don't just have massive growth out of it. And Amber's a good example. She's just taken the lessons of firewalking and exploded with it. I hear her citing stuff that she learned from firewalking all the time.
Well, let's talk about that. What were some breakthroughs that you had, Amber?
Well, it's about culture, and I think it's family of choice. I mean, we're actually a family. We're very close. We're united. We're on the same mission, and leadership starts at the top. And Charles is a great leader and mentor. So I'm very, very fortunate to have him in my life. And I believe your relationships are your most valuable asset, and we have to treat them that way.
So describe that 4 days for us, Amber. What kind of metamorphosis do you go through?
It's life-changing. I've been through all types of different training throughout my life. I love personal development. I'm a reader. But when you're there, we run negative patterns in our head, and we don't even know they exist because we run them from a very young age. Usually our subconscious is formed by the time we're 6. I also grew up in an abusive environment, and so I know how it feels to come from that and feel really terribly alone. And so in firewalking, we are a group where everybody is accepted for who they are.
Charles, I'll leave you with the final word. So for all the people in Dallas whose hearts are breaking right now, and obviously our hearts go out to them, what words of solace would you give them today?
Man, I'm almost speechless. But using what Jane said earlier, let's show what humans we are. Pull together, stand strong with the Dallas Police Departments and the police officers everywhere, show them the love, and really show what us Dallasites can be and do.
Thank you so much for joining me. CharlesHorton.com. When we come back, what are the biggest business blunders and how can you avoid them? My next guest will show you how.
You're listening to The Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190.